The day I found out that my grave was dark and I was still alive is the day I swore whoever dug my grave will go 6 feet before I do. That's the time the Lugara part of me came in. Like I just had this thing, so I am still breathing, but you wish for me to be in the soil. Is it that bad? Do you hate me that much? Do I embarrass you this much that you even dug my grave in advance? You have people to clear the area just in case, because I'm taking slightly long. That's the time I said, okay, since you guys have decided to become God, you will die before me. And that's when I said, it's not worth it. That's the time I said, I'm done. I'm just done. And the day I made that statement in my mind, in my heart, is the day I slept comfortably for 7 hours straight and woke up happy. That was my turning point. But I chose to thank God for the gift of life and the second chance that He gave me. I said, and I reduced that one voice. There was an article that came out that I could not sing anymore. I lost my voice. And the fact that I can still sing, that means my voice is meant for singing. The time when I was an addict, I did not sell my body one time for a cent. I did not. People do things for money right now. Don't know what people do in this industry of ours. You see people driving expensive cars and you ask yourself, some of you don't have those cars. And you ask yourself, how? You don't know what people do. That's why I'm ever grateful for the way my mother brought me. You're in partnership with Swanza, and that as you say, the best what? The best, no, he had something to say. I should give him a microphone. Artists. The best artist. So, you know the difference between best artists and legends?
Yes. You are legend. Yeah, legend. You are legend.
So, next time when you're saying something like that, kind of specify. Don't put some of us in baby what? Because we are what?
Legends.
We are legends.
Yes,
so when I talk about best artists, that one, you should have told me, block your ears, I'm going to communicate something. So I'm not forgiving you for that. I don't know how you're going to compensate me for that.
Outside.
By the time I was in rehab, there was a man who was about 71 years old, and guess what? He was addicted to sex. 71. I'm telling you the truth. It got to a point that he was addicted to sex, and he put a hole in his mattress. It was that bad. But you see, where that came from is they got a specific therapist for him to talk to. And when he spoke to that lady, the lady did not condemn him or point a finger and tell him what you're doing is wrong. She didn't. She actually had to sit and understand. The guy talked about all his desires, the things he thinks about, and they were not the usual things. Not the usual things. Until the therapist said, I understand, but other people will not understand. What you need to do is try to find a way to pull back to the normal. These things, you can keep them somewhere, lock them somewhere, but don't expose them to other people. She tried to find them, she talked to the guy until he agreed to find a worker fine. When this starts happening, is it okay for me to ask the patron to call you? Can I talk to you? It started like that until the guy left the rehab. Before I left, I just wanted peace because it looked like God did not take me away. I wanted to die, but I could not die. So let me get my happiness from injecting. And then when you go to the doctor, they treat you, but you come back after 2 days and he's like, this doesn't make sense. I've given you the best antibiotics. I've given you the best this, but your body's just slow. Then they're like, when I hear the doors close, then the footsteps across the sitting room. My dear, I will tell you one thing. So fast forward. When the newspapers would come out, they had their own what? Stories, which I am 100% sure they are the stories you know. But did any of you know this part? No? You don't know where it came from? I can sit in a place with people smoking jagger like this because I have sinuses. And my nose gets blocked. What I don't tell them, I give them. I walk away and look for fresh air. But the moment the person says, even when they write a story about me, anywhere someone says, enjaga yakafula kasiru, tekaina magezi, tekaina chi. That was it for me. So that was the story of my life at that time. The fact that the whole of Uganda, actually the whole world, was pointing the finger at me without knowing where this thing came from. I can comfort, not that comfortably, but I can speak about the origin of my problem right now because I know even here there's people who are going through that. Where my problem started, domestic violence, I know. And I can stand and speak about it because I saw it when I was young, and I don't want anybody else to go through what I went through. I don't know if you've ever hated yourself to an extent you don't want to appear in public. Even if they're giving you money. And I don't think you've ever gotten to the level where you appear in public, you've gone to the best salon, they've given you the best gift, everything makeup, but you still look bad. That's the level I got to. Then the suicide attempts came. There were 6 suicide attempts. And they were all failed. And yet for 4 of them I was assured by pharmacists that they would work. Yes. Because it wasn't about music. It wasn't the mentality people have about music. It wasn't that. Because the difference between, I think the only difference I had is I was gifted, the voice I have. And God, by the way, left me with my voice for one reason. I believe there's a reason I'm supposed to use this voice. I'm supposed to use this body. I'm supposed to use to show you these consequences that I'm still facing until date. I told you about the headache I had when I was coming here. Why? Because a lot of my nerves died. They killed a lot of my nerve cells, my nerves. So it gets to a certain point when sometimes they get weak and then the pain starts afresh. And I can't even pick a Panadol to swallow. Why? Because I'm scared. So ladies and gentlemen, you may have people who have gone through something like this. I'm only speaking from my direction, from where I'm from. I'm sure you've got teenagers, teenage children, nieces, nephews. This is something that's not going to pass them by. Somebody will ask you out and someone will ask a person out, the person will say no, and what is it? People hang themselves because of that. You don't know, you just never know the impact of certain things you do to people. Because we are selfish. We think about ourselves first. So at what point in life, even when you make a decision, are you going to think about the impact? Not just on you, but on everyone else around you. And if there's anybody it is that you know that is going through something, why condemn that person for that? If somebody stood and condemned me for the drug abuse, the drugs I was using, tell me, right now you know the problem. On the other, before, you would have said, go more music. Watch what? But right now you know the background. Ask yourself why, if you condemned me at that time, I would just keep quiet. Because I didn't have that energy to explain to you that my heart was broken. That my body was broken. That my self-esteem and everything that I ever stood for was broken. Because I believed and trusted. And up till date, I don't know what lie you can tell me. Today, If I don't lie you before you lie to me, I don't know. If you're a man, I don't know. Why? Because of that. I believe, because of the Most High, I'm not going back there.
Amen.
I'm not. I made that decision within those 6 suicide attempts. By the way, I had a near-death experience where what I saw, I will never forget. So I'm not going back there.
Amen.
I'm not. So whoever it is that you know, actually it may be something very small. Do not ignore such things. Anything can happen. So the causes of some of these issues you can get, for example, when it comes to mental health, it can be genes, it can be history of abuse. Mine was history of abuse. It can be just negative thoughts. There's a video, actually, I got it about 2 days ago, I downloaded it. There was a girl. She's very fat, she's got a baby face, but her body is really big. And she posted, and she's like, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm fat. I'm ugly. And people now just want me because maybe they have that fetish, because I'm a big person. Let me try this fetish out. But then when they're finished with me, they tell me I'm ugly, I'm fat. And the girl she said, I'm tired. And for that time, her account has never posted anything. Anything. So what do you think happened? It's about 8 months now. And people are just saying, remember this video? Anyone who knows this girl, look for her. So the small things that you think are useless that you do to people, you just never know. Environment, drug abuse, there's so many things that can do things to people. Work environment, so it's not just drug abuse, I'm only speaking from my direction. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to drag you too much, because my story is there. Yeah? Questions? Of course we're going to get into the questions. So you can just keep walking and walking and walking. There's routes that you can go through, but you just never come to the end. So you bump into anything, anywhere, that will take you right back to where you started from. So whatever it is, if you've got that one person that you can talk to, aside from God, because God knows, you need to know what is causing you to walk in the maze, what is making you to go round in circles. I left whatever it is that I was using. I don't regret. I still suffer with pain right now. Sometimes there's days when I have to sleep on the carpet, on the floor. I can do that maybe twice in a week, or maybe about 4 nights in a week, because my back hurts. Now what would happen when I use the drug is, even when my back is not pain, even when I'm just finished 5 minutes after I use the drug, my brain will tell me, your back is paining. And I look for to inject. So right now, it still happens, by the way. It does. The back can ache so much. And my brain tells me, imagine if you took half an ampoule, you would not even feel this. And then there's that tiny voice that says, Jackie, I won't say it again. You know what happened. And that's it. I will pick myself from my bed and go on the floor, cold as it is. I'll wake up and my body will ache me, so it is okay. But the following day I sleep on the floor, I will be fine. I tell myself I am fine. I'm in the industry right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even want to lie to you. And the fact that you give me the chance to speak to you, and you don't look at me as a young boy, a young girl, but you look at me as somebody who has gone through something that can affect you at any point, at whatever point it is. Some of you are older than me, some of you are. I know. Yes, of course, it's very possible. But how do you look, the things that how do you start looking, how do you get beaten up in a relationship at the age of 21? Who beats you? Waliwo kubaabo nga babbye sukaali balina kye babbye oba bajja oba ki naye si nti Anyway. And I am one thing. So the way that we can break, there's the stigma that people always create around that. I had that there was stigma around me in the industry. And yet people are even using worse drugs than I was. How do we break this? The rest of you, give people chance. Give us a chance. Give those people who have made a mistake chance. People make mistakes. We are human beings. We are not superhuman beings. We are not aliens. We are not perfect beings. No. Give people chance. You've made mistakes in your life. So give others chance. And take time off everything. If it is the job that's giving you an issue, please, even one day off, switch off your phone. Just take time off, think, reboot yourself, get treatment. Now that is for people in my need at that time you get treatment. The treatment matters, counseling and all that, it matters. But the one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that man upstairs, that's that. He doesn't joke. So for me, that's my journey in brief. It's actually much longer and much more disturbing than this, by the way, because I'm working on the documentary actually, which will go much more into detail. And I can say one thing, I'm grateful and I'm happy that Rotarians always give me the chance to speak about this. And I said I was coming back to you. You have this in at the end of the what? So question 3, did I forgive that person? Ever since I was young, I suffered from well, I had many issues. I had a problem with forgiving. And it's something that I had to go to, I had to speak to religious leaders about. People had to pray for me for that. So if you walked by me by mistake when I was young, sometimes it still happens, and you step on me, and I feel there's so much space there, I will wait for you after class. I will not just step on you slowly, I will stamp you. Now that was me. The reason as to why it is so, I'm still struggling, I believe I've forgiven, although when I still speak of it I have pain, is because I'm still suffering. This person was not sympathetic. Yeah. So, I believe I've forgiven the person, but I don't think it's yet a complete process because I still feel pain, because I'm still paying the price for what he did to me. But it is something, with God's help, I know soon I will overcome. It's much better now because I can talk about it. Yeah, so I believe I will completely forget about it and I won't feel the pain anymore. And the advice to people who go through something like this is your world does not begin and end with that person. That's just, there are people who get married 5 times, there are people who are dumped I don't know how many times. That's not the beginning and the end of the world. If something is not working, deep down and you feel this, I don't think this will, and you're doubting yourself, let it go. Let it go. You're still alive, you're still young, you're still beautiful. Anything can happen for you in the future. The last question is the advice and steps to overcome, or a way to come to rescue. First and foremost, if you've got anybody that is going through this, they always, even when you go to, well, sensible rehabs, should I say, they always ask for the people around, the family members, to have some interaction with the therapist so that you can understand this person's situation. So for you to come to the rescue, first and foremost, don't point a finger. We don't like being told what we are doing is wrong. We don't like it. We don't. We are that stubborn. whatever it is that we use, whatever addiction it is that we have, we don't want to know what we're doing is wrong because we know it is wrong. So don't remind us that it is wrong. So don't point a finger, number one. That's the truth. You shake it, because you've never gone through it. But that's the truth. You're shaking your head, and that's the truth. We don't want to. We know it is wrong. We know what we're doing is wrong. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I didn't want you to tell me. Because I've gone to school, I know the difference between right and wrong. So kind of don't tell. So don't ever do that to a person. Ask the person, okay, why? What can we do? What do you want us to do? Try to understand the person. That's the best rescue you can give any addict or anybody who is going through anything. What do we do? You've lost your job. Okay, what do we do? Maybe I have a few friends I can contact. Why don't we try this, try that? What if you try a different course? Look for every other avenue to find a solution, because the moment we find out that you care to find a solution for us, then we shall give you attention. Then we shall listen. That's how it is. Thank you. And he was in a worse state than I was, trust me. He recovered before me. But every time he kept calling this counselor, and you'd say, I feel like this. And she would say, really? Okay, so you feel like this. Then he would talk, then she would ask, so have you gained anything from that feeling? And he said, no, I'm still in the same place, but I'm just thinking. Then she's like, but you're getting tired even thinking about it. You're losing breath. So don't think about it for today. She spoke to him until other things she did not disclose to us. So it's about the therapists finding out the root cause. If people had taken time to tell me that these things happen, okay, at that time, usually they say if you stay with, cohabit with the person for 6 months, you're literally married. If somebody had taken time to tell me that these things happen, but finding how do we deal with this? Maybe Jackie, leave this man. You're much better than this. Go. You don't have to be here. It doesn't mean because you believe this is the person you love that is the one that you will love till death. No, I didn't have anybody to tell me that. So nobody even at the rehab bothered to ask where or why I enjoyed using pethidine. They did. They just took me as an addict. So it's about finding the root cause. Once you know the cause of something, you treat the cause. You don't treat what comes after the problem. No. Prevention is better than cure. Question 2, the turning point. I left the shock that people have with knowing that I had open wounds. I left that shock. People looking at me and saying, oh, me passing by a person, I'm like, this girl here. I left that. When I stepped in a country and the moment somebody recognized me, they'd be like, I love your music. They never mentioned anything about what they had read on Google. Never. And that was it for me. That's when I said, I'm actually normal. I can be normal. I've been doing something bad, but maybe it's not that bad after all. Because people still remember me for something that I did. And that's how I started. That was my role. So I had a relative, ladies and gentlemen, who lost his job. Very highly qualified gentleman. Very. He lost his job at every place he went to. The people that took the posts that he applied for were uneducated people, but because they had relation somewhere, and the man spiraled like this. So for me, I'm talking in terms of drug addiction. But you see, it started from domestic violence. Then there's the depression. So people, rehabs and stuff like that. Sometimes I believe it's not necessary to spend money taking a person to rehab, because what rehab does, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just being very real here. What rehab does is just to keep you away from the supply of the substance or from the habit that you have. That's all it does. I believe what is most important is this, even if you go to a therapist, by the end of you can be a therapist as long as you choose to understand, to know the root cause, because it's about the root cause. To the economy, a person doesn't care if they are killing you. They didn't care. I'm going to come and give you 50,000 and tell me what's the best combination. You'll give it to me. Because you don't have transport to take you home. I'm giving you 50,000. You will turn off the security camera and you will give it to me. Yes. So when all these attempts failed, and there was the rehabilitation time. The rehab, I believe, was a complete waste of time. That is for me. Why? Because the people, they did not have that much time to sit and understand me. Which is the reason as to why if any of you has any issue and your friends don't understand it, they need their own counseling for their friends. Because they need to understand. They need to understand where you're coming from. The last suicide attempt of mine, somebody told me this one is a sure deal. It was a fellow person in the rehab. We were allowed to have radios. Yes. People in rehab, people are tired. Bako.
Jackie, your presentation was really amazing. I don't know if you remember many years ago. I think it was Pamo. I'd always liked your music so much. I'm a musician. I'm not an artist. You used to be. And I used to like your music so much. Then I think on that Palm Awards, I had to give out the awards on that day. And I felt very proud to stand on the stage with Jackie Chandiru and the rest of the group. You are amazing. What you have just told us, it took guts. Because you opened yourself to all of us, your private life. But sometimes we go through experiences so that others can learn. And if you're willing to share with others like you did, then like you said, our person up there was using you for a good cause. And you say, with your voice, you still have a beautiful voice. So I commend you on behalf of the Rotarians of the Yenga Club to congratulate you for having been very kind enough to share your life experience, which is certainly going to touch so many people out there. Not only the youth, but even us, the other youth. Jackie, congratulations. Thank you so much. We look forward to your further career as a B3. I want to ask a question. Are you still doing 3? Oh, good. I see the blue. Congratulations.
She was today not only for you. Jackie, I would like to tell you that you're a very beautiful girl. And beauty comes from within. I would really like for you to get out of those stockings. One time I was involved in a near fatal accident and I got a scar here. I can tell you I love this scar because it was a reminder that I had survived. Get out of those stockings. You are beautiful. People get used to your scars. That discomfort, I cannot imagine. Now, that was my question.
You have received it. Now, it would be a disservice, unfair and injustice for what you have gone through at your age to add more stress and mental health and mental challenges by asking you a question. it is unfair. Me, I only have one thing to ask you. This is a club of about 150 members. They have statistics. They know it is only Kutesa who cannot cheat in this. Kindly have my number every morning. I will be calling you and pray for you, and you will need it.
Presence of the Rotary International President to talk to our youth, because that is where we have the biggest challenge today as far as addiction is concerned. And I feel you were saved to carry a message of hope, and that message you can only convey it in the presence of the culprits, and that is the youth. Haven't I paid? Thank you. Finish the first round. If at all, because no one has left, then we can have more. But we need to listen to your music.
Experience you have gone through. But it would appear that one is left on his or her own is the problem. What would you advise a group like us, Rotarians? What steps can we take so that we come to the rescue of those of society who happen to be victims?
Now, the day I was meant, when I was done, because for me, I'd escaped from rehabs at one point, so I was put in a specific room. I was always locked by 6 p.m., locked in at my age, imagine, by 6 p.m. I actually got claustrophobia because of being locked in that small space. So I was always locked in, and then that day, when I was going in and then I hear the padlock has closed properly, so I'm splitting the batteries, I'm preparing. I'd already even gotten a glass of water. Standard procedure. I knew I was going to say my prayer and say, God, I'm sorry, but I'm coming. So I don't know. Should we get into questions, Mr. President?
Thank you very much. Few minutes, about 15 minutes, because it's half past 8 now.